Hello everyone, it's Matt from Active Fitness Solution. Hope everyone's safe. Listen, I've had a lot of family, friends and also clients contact me about doing home workouts. So as you can see here, we're in the home studio. This is my home studio, we're not in any gyms. What I thought I'd do is I'll take you through a little bodyweight session and then also too, I'll speak to you about how you can make this either easier or harder for yourself as well. Please be mindful though, if anyone's got any pre-existing injuries, please make sure you modify any of the exercises because I don't want anyone getting hurt out there. So if you come down through the session plan now, so I've written it up on the board. I don't expect everyone to have a whiteboard at home, but you can easily write on a piece of paper on your phone, but have it somewhere handy so you know exactly what you're doing. What we're going to do here is we're going to have 45 seconds on and 15 seconds off. We're going to have 4 exercises in the circuit. We're going to be going through 3 rounds. All right. So the first exercise is going to be squats. Then we're going to do push-ups, we're going to do lunges, and then we're going to finish off with a plank. As you can see here, we'll have the minute rest, and then we'll go back into it again. What I'm going to do is going to take you through how I want each exercise done, and then we'll crack into the workout. Okay, so with the squats, I want to be very mindful where you position your feet. I want a little bit wider than the shoulder width apart, and I personally like to have my toes slightly angled out. So what we want to do, before we start, we want to have soft knees, yeah? We want to nice and control down, and we want to control up. So with the hands, whether or not you have your elbows out in front, hands out here, what I don't want to see happen is with these squats, I don't want to see these knees come forward, all right? We want to be very mindful of how much pressure we actually place on these knees. So it's a lot easier, push the feet into the floor like you're spreading the floor apart. Soft knees before we start, that allows you to get a lot of core activation, glute activation before we start. Hands here, eyes out in front, slow down and then control up. Yeah, slow down and then control up. So there's obviously different ways to make this exercise more challenging. We can either slow down the actual tempo. So it doesn't always have to be about trying to do as many as you can. It's got to be as best as you can. So now the squats are out of the way, we're into our second exercise, which is push-ups. We need to do these modified on our knees, or we can do full push-ups with the knees off the floor. So the first exercise, if we're going to do it on the knees, just make sure we walk our hands forward, hands just a little bit wider than our body. Now I want our eyes looking forward. I don't want to be putting pressure on my neck. Okay, so I'm looking at the camera here, but I want my eye gaze down here when I'm actually doing the exercise. Core nice and braced, slow down, just be very careful on how deep you go and control up. What I want to do with my hands is I want to actually to get a little bit more activation through the chest. I want to be pushing the floor, act like I'm pushing the floor together. All right, what that's going to do is going to get more activation to the chest, and I don't want to be locking out through the elbows. So if I show you again, brace, a little breath in on the way down, and a little breath out on the way up. Yeah. If we're going to do our knees off the ground, straighten one leg, other one up, nice and control down, and then nice and control back up. Yeah. So again, don't rush these. Really just depends on how skilled you are doing push-ups. Third exercise, just be very mindful of your knees, okay? The way I like to start with lunges is just alternating, but what I want to do here, I want to try and keep my hips in line, okay? So as I step forward, again, I want my eyes looking out in front, hands can be on the hips to keep balanced. As I strike the foot, I want to heel toe, and then I want to press back to the start. So I want to heel toe and then press back. Okay, what I see a lot of people do with their lunges is when they strike that foot, the heel's off the ground, and puts a lot of pressure through their knees, okay? And also too with our eyes, right? If I'm looking around, it's gonna be a lot more challenging for our balance. So I just wanna be eyes out in front, control, breathe. Heel toe, and then back. Now I want you to get the knees as close to the ground as you can. I just don't want you banging the knee on the ground. Remember what I said at the start too, if anyone's got any injuries or there's any restrictions over their body, you need to work out whether or not these exercises are good for you. Fourth exercise, we're going to be on the floor again. We're going to do a little bit of core activation here, doing it with a plank or a prone hover, okay? So again, just be mindful, getting down on the ground, always be mindful of these knees, yeah? Might not hurt before you start training, but if you've got any knee issues, make sure the knees are supported. The way I want this to work, this can be done very similar to the push-ups, where it can be done either on your knees or knees off the floor. It really just depends on your level. Yeah, if you're competent in this area and you feel that you want to be challenged, just make sure you can do it. I want quality over quantity. So the way we would do this, laying down, the way I like to do it here is just make sure the elbows position straight underneath the shoulders. Now, I have a preference to hold my hands down here. So if we're going to do it on the knees, I want to get the shoulders back, and then I just want to have the knees off the floor. All right, again with the eyes, I want the eyes just looking out, just in front, just near your hands. What I don't want to do is have my eyes up. Can you see the pressure at the back of the neck? So eyes down just to support that back of the neck. Yeah? And then if we're going to do, again, feet off the ground, Now, what I want to do here, I don't want to stick my bum up in the air. I want to draw my abs in nice and tight, yeah, and keeping really trying to stay as flat to the ground, parallel to the floor as possible. Yeah, a nice one here when we finished is also to stretch back and just be very mindful of getting up off the ground. The way we've structured this workout is it's going to have a minute rest. Yeah, so the plank's the last exercise. There's no point in rushing getting up. All right, and then when you've done one round, it's time to get a drink. Yeah, so especially if you're at home training by yourself, what I would recommend to keep you honest and to keep you into the workout is getting whether or not you get an app timer or something that can help you, especially if you're not going to have someone like myself there barking instructions. So I use an app called TABATA PRO. What that allows me to do, it allows me to pre-plan exactly what the times are going to be, and our workout again is 45 seconds on, 15-second rest, but we're going to be doing the 4 stations, and then we're going to be doing that 3 rounds. So it's a lot easier when I set and plan and I then just get into my session. Let's get it done.
Starting session.
So just make sure before you start that you are warm, yeah? You're warmed up. Again, ankles, knees, hips and shoulders, and you go at your own pace, okay? Let's get into the squats. All right, so remember how I told you about positioning those knees? Now I want to make this a little bit more challenging. I can slow it down as well, so I don't need to go as fast. Slow down the movement. Whether the hands are out in front or hands are here, it's really important that we maintain a nice neutral spine. Use your feet as the floor. You might only have body weight, but then you can more work on activating the right muscles at the right time. Second exercise. On the floor for our push-ups. So me personally, I'll have this mat ready to go, so I can just transition from one station to the other. What you'll hear too in the background is the timer counting down. 3, 2, 1. Just remember here, try and go as low as you can. Just don't knock the elbows out on the way up. Lunges. So again, make this a little bit more challenging. Hands can be on the head, hands can be up in the air. Last exercise, down on the floor, plank. And then after this exercise here, that's when you take a minute break to get a drink. So get in position early, shoulders back, core switched on. What I want you to do, everyone, try the workout. As you can see, I'm sweating. I didn't use any weights, even though I've got kettlebells, dumbbells, barbells here. But again, if you do have those pieces of equipment at home, let me know. But that 15 minutes, there's no excuse not to do that workout. Yeah, I understand if people have kids at home, but you don't need a space like this. You know, you could really do this in a couple of meter area. So if you've got a look at a room in the garage, one of the rooms in the house, doing that 3 times a week, and then the off days, doing some stretching and some, I guess, relaxation and meditation is going to go a long way from getting us through this period. So see you next session.